Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby, and today is a sad day in World of Tanks as Wargaming have finally announced that they have no plans on bringing back the very popular Top of the Tree. This has not been available for the first couple of months this year, and honestly, I guess there's finally some relief in the fact that Wargaming have told us that it's never coming back. Now, about a year and a half ago, I made a video about Wargaming killing Top of the Tree in World of Tanks, which happened in October 2023, where they pretty much stripped all of the 5 times experience progress for the second win of the day, which in that video I talk about was incredibly helpful considering how outrageously long when Wargaming added field mods into the game that it took you to be able to progress. Top of the Tree was something that I used across both of my accounts to be able to help target the different field mods, and I can only imagine how insane of a grind it must be for all of you to do the 13 million experience that I calculated would take 7,000 battles at 2,000 experience per game. That's like playing World of Tanks very hardcore for an entire year in tier 10, which is an expensive tier to play for a lot of players unless you're running a premium account. At least as the years go by, having a premium account seems to be more of a normal thing now through Wargaming's events, but it still doesn't change how painful it is that one of Wargaming's best events has finally been called. And here's the reason why. I'm going to discuss it in a little bit of detail and then give my overall opinion as to why I think this is a huge mistake from Wargaming and why Top of the Tree actually kept a lot of its audience engaged with the game. So, Commanders, we want to give you a heads up that Top of the Tree will not be returning in the coming months as we've decided to discontinue its current format. Now, that leaves a little bit of ambiguity, right? Its current format, so they say that they're still committed to bringing back a new event that better fits the game's systems and future plans. Well, considering that Top of the Tree has been here since pretty much the very beginning and in its fantastic format with the 5 times experience games since 2019, this is a whole new era of World of Tanks that we're going to be going into, considering one of those fundamentals that I genuinely think has kept a lot of people playing is now going to be completely changed, and who knows whether it's going to be after Wargaming's big September update. So we know many of you enjoyed Top of the Tree, and we understand that some of you will miss it. Some of us, I think every single player took some kind of advantage from Top of the Tree over the last decade. So it's not some of us. I think it's pretty much the majority of your audience, Wargaming. A new format is in development, but it won't be launching until later this year in Q4 2025 at the earliest. So honestly, I would look at this with a pinch of salt. I think they're just trying to soften the blow of what is a very significant issue. And I very much doubt if Wargaming are deciding to remove one of their key features if they're going to be even remotely as generous. And let's be honest, it's been a year and a half where Top of the Tree has been in kind of a crippled format where more or less it's for crew training and also for those juicy 30% discounts off the tier 8, 9, and 10 tanks. And Wargaming are wanting to take those away for a reason that we're going to find out. So we want to ensure that any future progression plans are introduced at the right time and work seamlessly with upcoming content. Okay, so I can understand that because as I highlighted in the video from a year and a half ago, the Wargaming created a popularity problem, for example, with a tank like the Progetto 65. The issue was that when they introduced a vehicle as a feature of the Battle Pass to be able to grind through the Battle Pass quickly and so that you could all be able to get through what is one of the fundamentals of the game, the Battle Pass, as quickly as possible, when they combined this with the Top of the Tree discount, it created incredibly popular waves of popularity within their tanks, which caused, I guess, matchmaking issues, and eventually resulted in Wargaming nerfing the Progetto. It's honestly a real big embarrassment, the Progetto. Wargaming making it Top of the Tree and featured in the Battle Pass, where it was already a popular tank, clearly wanting to get excitement around the Battle Pass and get people playing to be able to grind through it, then result in a problem where they have to nerf, in my opinion, a perfectly balanced tank to a point where now it is pretty much in competitive obscurity. So Wargaming undoubtedly created problems with Top of the Tree and Battle Pass, and that might be one of the reasons why they want to try and change the way that future progression plans are going to be unveiled. And so they want to work seamlessly with upcoming content. I guess it just shows that Top of the Tree was too generous and why we can't have nice things inside World of Tanks, right? So while we can't share full details yet, we'll reveal more after the September update. I'm excited to see what Wargaming have planned, but again, why they don't just keep Top of the Tree going until that September update, to me makes no sense. If they're planning massive changes to the game in September, they surely want to. There's no need to change the current way that people are progressing through the game by making use of Top of the Tree until then. And I do think that, I guess they want to try and like take the sadness now and then have no sad features about September. So maybe that's Wargaming's master plan as to what they're planning, right? Take the loss now. Accept the community's going to be unhappy, but they'll have forgotten about it by September, and then they'll be happy with anything that they give them back, right? Maybe that's going to be the case. So some of you have suggested keeping its current Top of the Tree format until the new one arrives. Me. For transparency, that's not possible as it isn't compatible with future progression plans and overlaps with other progression-based events. Like the Battle Pass seasons, special Battle Pass chapters, time-limited events, in-game discounts, Twitch drops, and more. So this one's an interesting one for me because why is it no longer compatible if none of those things are new, right? The Battle Pass seasons, nothing new. We've had them for years. Special Battle Pass chapters, we've had those for years. Time-limited events, we've had those since the game has begun. In-game discounts, literally since the game has begun. Twitch drops, we've had those for, God forbid, like 6-7 years and more that isn't compatible. So honestly, I feel like this part is completely tone deaf. It sounds like just drivel that's coming out to try and extinguish some of the fires of the way that people are going to feel about Top of the Tree. And I genuinely think that Wargaming should have just not ever addressed this because there's no justification. There isn't a compatibility issue. The only thing that it will do is probably affect their future progression plans. And this clearly is that Wargaming want the game to be a grind. And it's interesting that they're taking Top of the Tree before they show us what their big September update is that they've been teasing to us for the last 2-3 months, right? So obviously September update must be pretty significant to the way that you can be able to progress in World of Tanks if they're removing one of your key ways of actually progressing in World of Tanks, right? But I think, Wargaming, if there's some critical feedback I have, it's that this section is completely tone deaf. Don't tell us it's not compatible with progression-based events, where it's been working in perfect harmony with them so far. So much so that you actually linked up the Battle Pass seasons to the Top of the Tree. Somebody from Wargaming said, hey, what tanks should we feature in Top of the Tree? Let's feature the ones that are featured in the Battle Pass. That's been happening for years. So it doesn't make sense to me as to why they would say it's not compatible with an event that frankly they have been using to target what to actually make Top of the Tree. It doesn't make sense at all. This sentence, I think, throws more fire on the matter than it does extinguish, and I think it's frankly just poor, absolutely poor. And there is no justification and no reason why they couldn't have kept limping along the crippled version of Top of the Tree until the September update. And again, just to reiterate, I think the real reason is that they don't want there to be any sadness on the September update of them taking things away from us. So they're taking things away from us now so that they can only make us happy in September. I think that's what Wargaming's big plan is. But it just means that they're going to take a big hit over the next few months. They might have players who don't bother playing. They might have players who don't bother coming back in. They might have players who just aren't going to progress to get those extra tier 10s. I, for one, was strategically waiting on my free-to-play account because getting 6 million credits is so much. It really is. It's 6 hours of grinding premium tanks if you're a good player with credit boosters to be able to just earn the privilege of getting one of those tier 10s. Was it really too much that we were getting them for 4 million credits? One interesting thing that Wargaming could have done to still just soften this blow is say, well, the progression isn't working with our other areas, but what we're going to do is do discounts on tiers 8, 9s, and 10s, Maybe they could have said that they could have discounted 3 different 8, 9s, and 10s every month until September as just like a thank you to the community. And what would that have really cost them? It would have cost them a few credits. A few more credits into the economy? What does a few more credits into the economy for each player really mean? I don't think it means anything. I think there were so many ways that Wargaming could have still said, okay, look, Top of the Tree doesn't work because it's not compatible, but to make up, we're going to be doing some discounts on tier 10s to allow you to still soften the blow. Why they didn't do that, I don't know. Well, Wargaming is suggesting that they're still committed to offering valuable rewards and events throughout the year with regular tech tree and premium vehicle discounts. These aren't regular. Let's be honest. Now, it is the World of Tanks anniversary in a couple of weeks, and during their anniversary, they usually always discount vehicles, but it's by like about 15%, 20% if they're feeling very generous. And that's a bit of it's definitely a downgrade on Top of the Tree, but that's not really regular. In my opinion, them discounting tech tree vehicles maybe once every 3 months, once every 6 months, I think is more realistic. That's not generous. It's not regular, that's for sure. Now, if Wargaming said that they gave us actual information to tell us, okay, look, we know Top of the Tree sucks, that you're losing it. Look, it's not compatible. It's not compatible. But what we're going to do is say we're going to have more discounts between now and the September update. That would have been a success story on what is just a cloud of crap in the sky, frankly, that's just raining down some horrible excrement on everyone's progression inside World of Tanks. Wargaming also said there are going to be special deals on consumables, equipment, XP conversion, and more. I don't see how really... obviously, that's what we already have. We already have that, Wargaming. That doesn't really change anything. XP conversion discounts have been around for over a decade and a half inside the game. Consumables and equipment discount, literally around for over a decade. This is just like saying, hey, we're taking one of the core things that keeps you playing away, but hey, we've got these other things that are generous. It doesn't make sense at all to even state this. Event-based missions and limited time discounts. Event-based missions and limited time discounts. The limited time discounts, I guess that's the regular tech tree, because that's all that really matters with the scope of Top of the Tree. Again, I feel like they're just saying how good they are to try and detract from, frankly, what an ill-conceived idea it is to remove Top of the Tree in such an aggressive form at this time of year. And trade in events to help you refresh your garage. Yeah, trade in events. Definitely one of the things that I think was very, very poorly thought out, was very aggressively monetized, and I wouldn't be disappointed if the trade-in event didn't come back. That's for me. That's just my opinion. But maybe a lot of people have tens of thousands of gold lying around and they just want to swap out one tech tree that might become good in the future. And let me clarify, tank destroyers are being buffed in a couple of weeks in World of Tanks. The T110E4 is being buffed. Some of the Jag Tiger lines, not the Jag Panzer itself, is being buffed. And the 268 is being buffed as well. So those trade-in events, like, we take one of your tech trees that you've grinded and generously give you another one for probably about like 10 to 15,000 gold, I think the price was. And then we're going to maybe buff those tech trees later on, so you're going to want to buy them back anyway. But hey, there's no Top of the Tree discounts anymore, so good luck trying to get a fair price on them. Yeah, it's brutal. Wargaming's finished by saying, we know Top of the Tree was a fan favorite and we truly appreciate your support and understanding. If you know that it was a fan favorite, then why have you taken it away in such an aggressive form with no softening blow? Give us a softening blow, Wargaming. Say that you're going to discount vehicles. Why don't you say you're going to discount tier 8, 9, and 10? All tier 8, 9, and 10 vehicles by 30%. Maybe. Something like that. This World of Tanks anniversary, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. But again, like, all that's going to do, if they have these big one discounts, is you'll feel so pressured and so pushed to try and get as many credits as possible in that short time to make use of that discount. One of the beautiful things about Top of the Tree was having, like, something to look forward to. What's going to be Top of the Tree this month? Ooh, is that line good? Is that line bad? I think it got the community talking about different lines. And it gave players something to look forward to, something to do inside the game. because unless you're part of a clan, unless you just are a collector, quite often this can feel like a game with a lack of direction and a lack of purpose. And I think that Wargaming are really underestimating how important Top of the Tree was to give its players that. But I'd be interested to know what you all have to say in the comments down below. Was Top of the Tree something that you were interested in, or was Top of the Tree something that you haven't used really in years and years and years? Anyway, ladies and gents, that's it. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed my breakdown of it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Wednesday, I'm going live all day on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby with brand new drops tokens. I feel bad. Are the Twitch drops what has justified the end of Top of the Tree? Don't try and do that. Don't try and do that, Wargaming. And also, today's an exciting day because I managed to get the Object 907 on my free-to-play account. So I'm going to be playing an infamous vehicle for the very first time. So if you wanted to ever see Uncle Scrubby Baby play the Object 907, come along right now and I'll get in a few games. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you all soon.